Alright, Darksiders 3 just dropped a couple of hours ago, and the giant fanboy I am, I had to play it immediately. So why don't we take a little first look at it? I played through the first 2 hours of the game, and I think that should give me enough material to work with. And first things first, this is not a promotional review. But hey, THQ Nordic, I know that you have your HQ in Vienna. Let's sit down with some beer and have a little talk. Maybe we can work something out. To be serious for a change, I was a little bit scared to play this game. The few previews I read complained about bugs, audio cutouts, long loading screens, and repetitive gameplay. Let's see if this game is really the piece of junk those people say. And don't you worry, there will be no spoilers in this, since I will only touch on the story parts we already saw in the game's trailer. Let's start with a little introduction to the game's lore. Darksiders 3 takes place alongside the events of the first Darksiders games and focuses on the Horseman Fury.
Hey, Horseman! You go by Horseman or Horse Lady? Or Horse Person?
The game gives you a little introduction on the Horseman and the Nephilim and the recently started apocalypse. Fury is summoned before the Charred Council, powerful entities tasked with keeping the balance of the universe. Part of those powers is the ability to smoke 2 cartons of cigarettes a day. At least that's what they sound like.
As we speak, Earth falls beneath the spears of heaven and the hammers of hell.
Fury's brother War is also there, and we are told that he started the apocalypse and is now standing trial for his crimes. I won't talk too much about this. Maybe you want to check out my Darksiders review to learn more. Fury is now sent to Earth to capture the escaped 7 deadly sins with the help of a skull-shaped Pokeball. Come on, that joke is pretty obvious, and I had to get it in there somehow. With that sorted out, the real game kicks off. One complaint I repeatedly stumbled upon is that the game dumps a lot of exposition on you in the beginning. I don't think that's true. The game has to give you some info to know what's up, and not everyone played the first 2 games. And it only takes 8 minutes from starting the game to playing it. Alright, so let's get to the meat and potatoes of the game. The gameplay. To fight the 7 deadly sins, our heroine Fury is armed with her Barbs of Scorn, a chain-like whip that reminds me a lot of Prince of Persia. Fighting and movement-wise, Fury is more agile and acrobatic. A main focus in combat is going to observe your foe to dodge their attacks and to release powerful arcane counterattacks on them. At least that's what's encouraged by the game. Of course, you can just beat on them and either use the numerous combo attacks or nice-looking special wrath attacks. But Fury has more weapons at her disposal. She later gets a fire form, literally going Super Saiyan, which changes her weapon and also her fighting style. Judging from the inventory screen, you should be able to unlock more weapons later in the game. And just like the previous games, Fury is able to transform into a more powerful form, the so-called Havoc form. Let's call this Super Saiyajin 2. The enemies I have encountered weren't really too difficult once you have the pattern down or learn how to read their movements. So far, my favorites have to be the cockbeetles. Why cockbeetles? Just listen to this. The internet likes to compare the combat and general gameplay of Darksiders 3 to the Dark Souls games. And I can see where they are coming from. Dying sends you back to the last checkpoint and also results in you losing all your souls. Souls being the main currency in the game, just like it is in Dark Souls. But Darksiders used souls since the very first game, so there is no sense in complaining about that now. You can of course retrieve your lost souls once you reach the point in the game you died at. Talking about difficult enemies, I have to admit the bosses seem a little bit unfair, at least the 2 I've encountered so far. Patience, dodging and counter-attacking are essential for victory here. You may think you have the pattern down and get cocky just to get your ass handed to you. But let's look at this objectively. Aren't bosses supposed to be hard? Would you like to fight a boss that goes down in 1 hit?
You're merely delaying.
Oh, I thought it'd never shut up.
But combat isn't the only important factor to a game. What about experiencing the world around you? Well, the game looks good, I give it that. The post-apocalyptic world you move through is well crafted and even offers some platforming and fun whip swinging. Later on, as you acquire more abilities, you will also be able to burn away obstacles, wade through lava, or use a double jump ability to aid you in your exploration. And that's just to name a few of the advanced abilities. In the 2 hours of my game time, I often veered off course to explore the map. The world itself is filled with hidden treasures like ingredients to reinforce your weapons, and of course health and other regenerative items. Good looks aside, I did experience some frame rate issues every now and then, but I'm not quite sure if that's due to the game or if it's my PC's fault, since it's the equivalent of a damn sock. Even more important than looks are a game's characters, at least in my opinion. I'm still undecided on Fury herself, besides her obvious advantages.
Nice.
Her personality doesn't differ from the badass, ignorant attitude of her brothers.
They could suffer forever or die tomorrow, and I wouldn't bat an eye either way.
Like in the first game, Fury is joined by a watcher on her journey, and I do enjoy the banter between the two a lot.
And he does love the sound of his own voice, doesn't he?
Not like anyone I know.
Oh, it smells like death in here. Trust me. We shared a room 1,000 years ago.
I also ran into another familiar face, Ulfane Blackhammer. He was in the first game too, and he offers somewhat of a side quest to the player. He runs a kind of sanctuary for survivors and asks you to catch some humans for him during your adventure. But let's leave it at that, I don't want to spoil anyone. Another important character is the demon merchant Wulgrim. He does not only sell you helpful stuff and lets you use his snake path for fast travel, he also lets you feed him your hard-earned souls to level up. Leveling up rewards you an attribute point, which you can spend to either increase Fury's health, strength or arcane power. Since we mentioned Wulgrim, I have to talk about a pretty apparent bug in the game. Even though the rest of the game is in English, all my interactions with Wulgrim are dubbed in German.
Nach dem, was dem guten alten Wüter passiert ist, nimm ja seinen Namen nicht in den Mund.
It also happened from time to time that Fury spouted a German phrase in combat, but I couldn't catch that in a recording. I guess that's just a problem for German players who change the language settings. And that's my first impression of Darksiders 3. I have to say I enjoy it, and I will definitely continue playing it. I can't say too much about the story yet. I played the first and second game and don't think there will be much to surprise me. The gameplay is fun so far and a healthy mix of combat, platforming and puzzles. I can't really tell why people are experiencing the bugs they complain about on the internet. The game runs fine for me, without long loading times and glitches. Admittedly, I had some trouble with the graphic settings in the beginning, and there are the frame rate issues, but as I said, I run this game on a damn sock. I will do a more detailed review of this game once I played through it, so if you are still undecided on playing this game or not, maybe you want to check that one out too. Well, that's it from me. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to leave your comments down below to tell me how wrong I am about this game. This is Rue signing off. Goodbye.